Hey everybody, Sam Davidson here with MEAWW Worldwide. Hi guys, and I'm here with Coby Bird, who of course plays Rufus in Netflix's new series Locke Key. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. It's it's been a week since the premiere, and everything's just been just on point. It's been pretty exhausting, but on the other hand, it's been just an honor. It's just been really fun doing everything.
Your life has changed, I imagine, quite a bit in the past
Without
week.
a doubt, yes, without a doubt.
So let's go back and talk about, what was the process of getting this role? I know you've had, some guest roles, but how is this process different from what you've done before?
So yeah, this was my my very first reoccurring role. So I got the audition, and I was familiar with the comic. I didn't read it, but then I was looking it up, and then I realized, okay, so this actually is a comic book. So I kept buying each novel as time went by, and I fell in love with the series. But
So you're a fan now.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And so they called you in to read and do the whole thing, and then the rest was history.
Oh yeah, there definitely was an interest. There definitely was an interesting story behind all that. I was been through the audition, and then finally I got it. So we had to wait for almost 3 months until they said, okay, you booked the role. So that definitely was a big surprise.
So where were you when you found out that you booked the role of Rufus, and who's the first person that you told?
So actually, a really funny story. So I when I was pinned for the role, me and my family go to Disneyland all the time. We're huge Disney fans. We go there like every other week. So we were at Disneyland, and my mom got an email from my agent saying I was pinned for the role, and we actually were with some family, and we literally we were just ecstatic about everything. So finally around at the end of January, my mom actually called my agent, and then my agent was talking to me, and then she told me I got the role for Rufus, and I was just shocked for the rest couple weeks until I flew to Toronto. But it definitely was a big shock to me, but also it was such an honor just to find out that I was going to be able to do something this big.
That's so epic. God, Disneyland, what a great place to have that memory start.
I grew up going. It was the first place where I was really independent about going everywhere. It was the first place that I knew where everything was, and it's like a second home to me. So
that's so cool. So this is your first big reoccurring role on a show, and not only is the character iconic, but it's also important for other people that have autism to see themselves, portrayed on screen. Have you gotten any feedback from other kids with autism? Or
I definitely have. Being someone who grew up with autism, I actually was I was doing one audition, but I can't remember what it was. But the question was, is there anyone that you look up to who's in your profession who has autism? And I thought, no one. There really isn't anyone like there really isn't anyone like me who's a high-end actor who has autism, who actually grew up with autism, and I thought I would love to be that kind. I would love to be there for people who have autism, or people who don't think their dreams can come true, or they can't follow their dreams. And for them to look up to me and say, hey, that's Coby Bird. If they can do it, I can do it.
Wow, that's amazing. And so Sherri Saum, who plays your mother on the show, is one of my favorite TV actresses. Tell me a little bit about what it was like working with her, what your guys' relationship was like offset.
I've worked with, she definitely was the person I worked with the most on set, and the whole dynamic between Rufus and his mom, you definitely saw it, and that definitely was the kind of relationship we had. I think I learned a lot from working with her. You know, seeing someone who's accomplished so much, and seeing how she acted, seeing how she was, it definitely was an honor, you know, working with someone like her. And it was really interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure she seems so awesome.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Were there any creepy moments on set? Because it certainly is creepy watching it, but was there any time or two that you guys were like, this is kind of scary?
Okay, so am I able to spoil? I'm spoiling.
Yeah, so
okay.
You know what? From this point moving forward, guys, because I'm going to get into some spoilers next. If you haven't finished the season of Locke Key season 1, then go finish it. Come back and watch us because we're going to be talking some spoilers. Go ahead.
Okay, so at the end of episode 9, when Ellie and Rufus go back to their house and Lucas is there, that probably was the most intense scene I ever filmed, because when I act, I really feel like I'm the character, and I really felt like I was Rufus in that situation because when we were filming it, you know, nothing was really edited yet, so it wasn't so the score wasn't implemented into the scene yet. So everything was very quiet, but the person who played Lucas, Felix Mallard, he's such an amazing person.
Yeah.
He really rocked me to my core. He definitely It definitely felt very.
Hold on, we'll pause.
Oh, it's okay.
Damn sirens. There's been a lot today.
There has been, yeah. Especially where we are too.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
All right. So, and then I think probably my most favorite part of filming that scene was doing the stunt with the screwdriver and stabbing it onto his shoulder. That was so awesome because actually we did it a couple times, and I loved grabbing the screwdriver, like with a quick reflex and then stabbing onto his shoulder. It really felt like I was doing that. So that was amazing, and since there actually was a stunt double who was doing the whole table flipping scene, I got to see it. It was so cool, and so the way it worked was outside of the stunt, I would turn around and I would basically like plant my arms on the desk to implement me falling over the desk, and actually during one of the takes, my glasses flew off and flew across the room. It was so funny.
Oh wow!
Oh
gosh.
Yeah.
That must have been a really cool experience.
It really was.
Being able to do all that.
It really was.
So what also was cool and kind of more unique to Rufus is that you got to actually work with the creators of the comics. Again, guys, this is spoiler time. Tune out if you don't know the ending. But yeah, in that scene, you're in the ambulance and the EMTs are actually the two creators of the graphic novels. So first of all, did everyone on set know who they were, and did you know? I
think, by a certain, most of us did know who they were. I definitely did because I'm a huge fan of the comics. So finding out that they actually were gonna be in the scene with me was pretty awesome. I think, for the time we actually were together, some of the cast actually downstairs in the basement. We actually played table tennis because no, it wasn't table tennis. It was foosball. We actually played foosball during breaks. So we definitely had like a big showdown.
That's so fun.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it must have been a really cool moment for the cast members.
Oh yeah, it was. Everyone. It really was. And they're such
fantastic.
Yeah, and they're such amazing people too. They're very kind-hearted.
And so what layers would you say that you and the creators of the show decided to add to Rufus that were different or maybe not there in the comics?
In the comics, they don't actually specify that Rufus has autism. Mm-hmm. They only say that he has a mental condition. So I definitely related with Rufus as I was reading the comics as a kid, because in some ways some of the same attributes that he had in the comics I definitely had. So I definitely wanted to bring my experiences onto Rufus, and but also I wanted to be as faithful as I can to Rufus, because I didn't want to change anything, because I didn't want to change anything too much to make him seem like a completely different character. But I definitely wanted to be faithful to him.
That's awesome. And also, if the show gets a second season, which fingers crossed, I have a very good feeling that it will, because there is more story to tell.
Oh yes.
So first of all, have you read all of the comics?
I have.
So you know the arc that Rufus has in the future. Was there a conversation with the creators that they had with you about where your story could continue to?
There really wasn't. I definitely know that in some ways I probably will be back in season 2, which would be fantastic, because personally in the comic books, when Rufus escapes the mental hospital, I definitely want to see that implemented into the show, as well as Squadron Strange. Those two things into those two things were in the show, and personally, as someone who watched Locke Key and loved the adaptation, I think that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, because I mean, whatever changes they make, your character is a huge part going forward. So I'm sure that's very exciting to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a pleasure, and it's such a fun show, you guys. So Locke & Key is available right now on Netflix to binge, and you can do it over and over again. And fingers crossed for season 2. And thank you so much, Coby.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.